This is the QTV Nightly News and I am Jewel Denjai. Thank you for joining us. Here are tonight's headlines. During his appearance at the National Assembly, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, C.D. Keita, informed Parliament that the consolidated revenue performance exceeded expectations in the first quarter, registering a notable increase of 23% in domestic revenue collection. As the Works Minister continues his tour of projects, residents of Raneru village in the Central River Region North have welcomed the progress of the long-awaited 26-kilometer road project, which now connects their community to the main Sierra Road corridor and other parts of the country. ActionAid International de Gambia held its 14th annual general meeting at the weekend to share updates on its programs and its financial report. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in collaboration with UNICEF and other development partners, on Monday brought together students and teachers to mark the 2025 Day of the African Child. In sports news, the expanded FIFA Club World Cup kicked off at the weekend, with 4 African teams hoping to make their mark on the competition. These and other stories coming ahead, do stay tuned. Thank you very much for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, this is the QTV Nightly News. Now, during the presentation of his first quarter of the fiscal year 2025 budget implementation and monitoring statement, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, C.D. Keita, informed Parliament on Monday that the consolidated revenue performance exceeded expectations in the first quarter, registering a notable increase of 23% rather, in domestic revenue collection. And Sumana Esonyasi was there, and this is his report.
Mandated by the National Assembly Standing Orders, which focuses on the implementation and monitoring of the budget, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, C.D. Keita, attended to update NAMS on the government's financial operations in the first quarter of the fiscal year. This is aimed at allowing proper assessment of the implementation of the budget and ensuring fiscal stability. He informed Parliament that there are noticeable achievements registered in the first quarter, particularly in expenditure and revenue mobilization, reporting that the actual total expenditure was curtailed by 3%, showing commitment on the part of government to ensuring fiscal transparency. He also reported a noticeable increase in domestic revenue mobilization, attributing it to ongoing reforms of the country's revenue collection systems. Additionally, he also reported a revenue performance of $6.6 billion in the first quarter, exceeding projections from the previous fiscal year.
This performance is mainly the result of a 31% collection of taxes on profits and capital gains, a 21% collection rate of taxes on goods and services, and a 29% collection rate of taxes on international trade and transport.
Meanwhile, the Finance Minister also revealed that expenditure to personal emoluments of $2.2 billion exceeded what was budgeted for in the first quarter. However, he attributes this expenditure to an increase in the wage bill.
This improvement is mainly attributable to an annual increase in tax payables by individuals, 31%, and corporate and other enterprises, which is 42%.
Following the minister's statement, several NAMs, including Honorable Swaibu Ture of Wuli East, Honorable Tumanjai of Banjul South, Honorable Alajimbo, the NAM for Upper Salum, Honorable Lamin Sise of Kiang West, and the NAM for Banjul Central, Honorable Abdullah Njai, queried, among other things, the minister's late appearance before plenary. They also requested the submission of a detailed report featuring a breakdown of expenditures and revenue collection in the first quarter.
Asset recycling agreement has not come into effect. Have they not paid what they should pay? Because I think if that is done, the revenue would have gone up.
For a whole government, we are in the 6th month of the year. To come and give us a report in 7 pages is a lot. I mean, it is concerning.
Honourable Minister, help us understand what resulted to this 50% increment in the input subsidy authorized by the Parliament.
the 10 million consistent allocation 2023-2024 for the drilling of boreholes. Go and look at the boreholes around.
That has grown actually by 25% year on year out, despite efforts to at least curtail spending. Why is this happening?
In response to their queries, the finance minister promised to submit a detailed report to Parliament, further emphasizing the government's commitment to institute more fiscal measures to ensure that revenue expenditure performance is proportionate with expectations. Earlier, the Minister for Public Service, on behalf of the Minister of Environment, oversaw the first reading of the National Environment Bill 2025. Meanwhile, the session was adjourned to Tuesday, 17 June 2025. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
Now, residents of Raniru village in the Central River Region North have welcomed the progress of the long-awaited 26-kilometer road project, which now connects their community to the main Sierra Road corridor and opens access to other parts of the country. Usman Jata reports.
60 years since the Gambia achieved independence, some communities remain cut off from the nation's progress. Raniru village in the heart of Central River Region North was one such place, cut off by dust and distance, barely reachable and almost forgotten. The new 26-kilometer road, which now links Raniru to major routes, is a game changer. Residents like Mohammed Suare, Sadio Sisaho and Dauda Kante welcomed the project, recalling the hardships they once faced traveling this stretch of road.
We,
the drivers, suffered a lot in the rainy season. The road became impassable for vehicles and only donkey carts could pass. Now we are very grateful.
During heavy rains, neither motorbikes nor donkey carts could get through. The completion of this road means everything to us.
This highway gives us access to the main road. Before, it was so hard to use. But now, thank God, things have changed.
Significant progress has been made on Lot 2 of the EPC Roads project, which is now 66% complete. The 12-kilometer Njao Loop to Karol Wharf section is at 75% completion, with all earthworks and drainage complete. The 26-kilometer Karantaba, Raniru, Tabanani, Damfai, Njaga Fitufula stretch is 69.8% done, with base course and surface dressing underway. The 12-kilometer Lamenkoto Bani Yona Kunting segment is 52% complete, with drainage and surface work still pending. The Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Asila, praised the progress but acknowledged challenges in coordinating work among contractors.
Almost 3 kilometers have been sealed completely, and we are hopeful that within the next couple of weeks this particular stretch will be completed. It's a very important road because this place was a non-existent road. When we came here, it was extremely very difficult to access the inland communities that are off the major highway.
Asa Awoko, the resident engineer for the Cityscapes Associate Projects Lot 1 and 2, and project manager Jonas Agiemang are closely overseeing the construction.
We have quality, we are within the budget control, budget limits. When we finish, we shall all leave here and go. So when we go, the communities must be proud of what we are leaving behind.
We are still working towards it to be able to complete even before schedule. Currently, what we are left with, a few concrete structures to be completed, hopefully to be completed by the end of this month.
For Raniru and the wider CRR North, this road is more than just asphalt. It is a symbol of hope, recognition, and the fulfillment of a long overdue promise.
Osman Jata, reporting for QTV News.
Now, ActionAid International de Gambia held its 14th annual general meeting at the weekend to share programs and its financial report. The financial report highlights the non-governmental organizations' income rose by 20% in 2024. Jennifer Sonko has the rest of that story.
The ActionAid 2024 activity plan and budget was driven by 3 strategic priorities: recognition,
protection and fulfillment of the rights of people living in poverty and exclusion, building resilience and advancing climate justice and promoting good governance and accountability. ActionAid's activity report describes 2024 as a year characterized by global political and socio-economic instability, affecting investment in development efforts, humanitarian response, and peace initiatives. At a national level, constrained civic space, climate challenges, and limited funding opportunities are highlighted as constraints to the organization's efforts. Ndela Faikoli, ActionAid's executive director, elaborates.
Development funding is one of the biggest challenges. It has been there before, but we've seen it's going from bad to worse because many of the development partners are also reprioritizing, and as such, funding is not going to mainstream core development work, but is rather responding to humanitarian crises, some of which are really man-made. They are geopolitical interests that have caused it. They are not natural disasters, but of course, it's beyond us. And when those crises happen, development funding changes. And for organizations like ActionAid, which is not a tax revenue body.
ActionAid's board chair, Usman Baji, reported a 20% increase in the organization's income by 2024. He highlighted that 59% of the revenue came from projects and other sources such as rental income, reducing their reliance on child sponsorship. Of the $189 million in expenditures, 85% was directed towards programs and addressing education, HIV prevention, youth and women's empowerment, gender-based violence, and climate justice.
Also marked the start of the USD 4.5 million Global Fund Grant Cycle 7 for the period 2024-2026 for HIV prevention. I am happy to report that we have registered significant improvement in our performance with the Global Fund grant compared to the previous year. We had a programmatic rating of C, which is moderate, for the reporting period of January to June 2024, with an average performance of all indicators at 82%.
Aside from the Global Fund, ActionAid International de Gambia also launched initiatives with the EU and UN Peacebuilding Fund to build CSO capacity, promote organic fertilizer use, and empower marginalized youth. What is ActionAid's most impactful intervention in 2024?
To come to realize that participation of young people is also crucial. So I would say one of the successful things and achievements we've made is raising the importance and working with young people to get young people to begin to get involved and be represented at the structures, because we are looking at the fact that the challenges and the missing numbers of young people in the national level is emanating from the rural level. And we have decision-making structures. The village development committees, the ward development committees, as low as they are, their decision-making structures. And unless we begin to address the root causes by making sure that from that lowest level, young people are brought in because they have the knowledge, they have the energy, and they also have the numbers.
ActionAid is a global federation working for a world free from poverty and injustice. It was established in the Gambia in 1979. Since its establishment, ActionAid has been striving towards a just and poverty-free society by working with marginalized communities to promote social justice, gender equality, and poverty eradication. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we hear how the commemoration of the Day of the African Child. We will also hear about how a road development is set to transform the lives of residents of Kolikunda in the Central River region. Join us after the break for these and other stories.
fii mooy fan fii mooy Inessa di place bi nga xam ne moom la ñëpp taam place bii bépp xeetu ataaya bu baax rek bu dugg see ci dëkk bi xamal ne fii rek la am bara wërga bii neex na lool saf na ba pare tamit nag am gu bu neex boo ko naanee rek da ngay kontaan ci saas añ ba suur ba gëreesal li nga lekk jëndal bara ataaya bii ndax moom la ñëpp taam gis nga sama client bii ataaya bu neex bu ne moom laa koy njëkk a jox ndax moom kat ataaya bu neex rek lay wër bara wërga bii mooy wërga bi gën te moo gën a saf kon nag ràññee leen ko bu baax kon daw leen gaaw ca Banjul foofu ca Inessa di place bi nga xam ni foofu rek nga ko mën a amee wholesale wala retail mu ngi foofu ci boori court house bi foofu ca Banjul wala nga daw ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique fépp foo dugg rek di nga mën a am baara warga bii nga xam ne moom la ñëpp di wër tey baara warga moo dàq ci warga yi man maa ngi ci moom ndax su ma maree ataaya moom rek lay naan
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected, juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News, and now to the rest of our stories. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in collaboration with UNICEF and other development partners, on Monday brought together students and teachers to mark the 2025 Day of the African Child. This year's theme focuses on planning and budgeting for children's rights, evaluating what has been achieved since 2010. Loli M. Kamara was at the commemoration, and she now reports.
The Day of the African Child, commemorated every 16th of June, is a day of reflection and renewed commitment. The African Union established it to honor the students of Soweto, South Africa, who in 1976 bravely stood up against an oppressive education system, leading to many of them losing their lives. At this year's event, held under the theme Planning and Budgeting for Children's Rights, Progress since 2010, speakers took stock of the gains made in protecting and promoting children's rights across the Gambia. UNICEF country representative Ms. Nafisha Binti Shafiq emphasized the importance of strategic investments in health, education and protection to safeguard children's futures.
Let us treat planning and budgeting not as administrative duties, but as moral choices. Because when we plan and budget with children in mind, we don't just improve services, we transform lives. We build a country where no child is invisible, where every child can learn, grow, and dream without limits.
Honorable Fatou Kinte, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, highlighted legislative progress, pointing to key frameworks like the Sexual Offences Act 2013, which offers increased protection for vulnerable children. She reminded the audience that investing in children is not a burden, but a necessary and wise investment that secures the future of the nation.
My ministry, in partnership with UNICEF, Child Fund, ActionAid, and other key stakeholders, have been engaged in the implementation of children's rights programs that are geared towards the protection of children at every single level. This includes a situational analysis of the state of the children in the country. We provided an update information on the status of children in the Gambia. The situational analysis informs policy and programming interventions, in particular the development of the National Children's Policy 2025 to 2030.
Students actively participated in a Q&A session, raising critical concerns, including about the lack of recreation centers and support systems for children with disabilities. Here is Halima Tujaju, a student from Sibanor Opa and Senior Secondary School, with her message for the government.
I have a message to send to the government that we are the great future leaders of tomorrow. Let them take our education seriously and provide us with school equipment or materials that we can able to learn at the school. Without the government, the students of the Gambia will suffer, or the children of the whole Africa will suffer.
The Day of the African Child serves as a powerful reminder to governments, civil society, and communities across the continent of their shared responsibility to build an Africa fit for all its children. where their rights are respected and their voices are heard. As the children spoke, the message was clear: more action, more inclusion, and more investment are needed. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
Now, limited access to essential services like roads, water and electricity continues to impact some rural communities in the country. Usman Chata reports from Kolikunda village in the Upper River region, where a new road project is set to improve connectivity and ease daily challenges.
While urban residents enjoy improved and almost constant access to electricity, the internet and clean water, life in Kolikunda village, a hamlet settlement, tells a different story. On a typical day, children gather in the village square to play football on dusty ground without a decent pitch. Nearby, women do their daily chores, capturing the essence of a hard-working rural life. Despite the village's strong community ties and active daily life, Kolikunda faces major challenges. Key among them is the lack of a proper access road connecting it to the main URR road corridor. However, with ongoing construction of the village's main highway, residents are beginning to see signs of hope. Aliuba is one of the village elders.
We are very thankful for this new road. Before it was built, life was extremely difficult, especially during emergencies. Taking pregnant women or the sick to hospital was a major challenge. Despite the slow progress, the road has truly brought some relief to our village.
For many years, this single water pump has served as the village's only source of clean water. Mariamaba, a resident of Kolikunda, shares her daily struggles to access clean water.
Water remains a serious challenge for us. From morning until late in the day, we have only one water pump, and the whole community depends on it for much of the time.
By midday, women are already busy preparing the evening meal, pounding pools, cooking and fetching water. In addition to the water issue, Kolikunda still lacks electricity, but with the government's rural electrification project rolling out power lines across the region, the village is finally expecting to see a major change in this respect.
Right now, we are really struggling to collect firewood. We do not have machines or equipment, so we do everything manually, whether it's farming or cooking. We rely entirely on our own strength.
As road construction continues and electricity lines begin to reach the village, the people of Kolikunda are hopeful for a brighter future, one where basic amenities become part of every life. Osman Jata, reporting for QTV News.
The report by Usman Jata will take us to some sports news. Now, the expanded FIFA Club World Cup has seen some exciting matches across several venues in the United States, with Bayern's thrashing of Auckland City and Champions League winner PSG demolition of Atlético Madrid, the most headline-grabbing so far. Our sports reporter Momodo Gajaga has been monitoring, and this is his report.
Bayern Munich destroyed Ozonian champions Auckland City FC 10-0 with Jamal Musiala netting a hat-trick after coming from a long-term injury, and Michael Olise scoring and assisting twice to scoop a Man of the Match award. The match was one-way traffic from start to finish and gave fuel to critics of the competition. Auckland City FC are amateur, part-time players who have day jobs as construction workers, factory, marketing officers and engineers, to name a few. It is reported that many of their players and officials had to take unpaid leave from their regular jobs to play in this competition. As such, the results were somewhat expected against European club giants Bayern Munich. For African football fans, there was interest in the competition opener, which saw Lionel Messi's Inter Miami drawing 0-0 with African club record champions Al Ahly of Egypt. The match was excitingly poised, with both sides playing brilliant attacking football. Al Ahly will kick themselves for missing a penalty and other glorious chances, especially in the first half. Inter Miami became an improved side in the second half, with better passes and crosses. Lionel Messi came close twice with a free kick and calling shot heading into the top corner, only to be saved by the brilliant El Senawi to deny the Argentine what could have been a potential winning goal. Inter Miami's goalkeeper was named man of the match. In the day's other game, there was a more surprising scoreline, as PSG destroyed Atletico Madrid 4-0 to continue their remarkable season, which saw them win the Champions League last month, Ligue 1 and Coupe de France. Portuguese side FC Porto drew against Palmeiras of Brazil in an exciting 0-0 draw. The match was played with accelerating speed, with both teams attacking with intensity, creating flurry of chances, but were poor in finishing. Eventually, either side couldn't break the deadlock and had to settle for a goalless draw. African fans can look forward to the continent's other representatives. Tunisian side Esperance, Morocco heavyweights Wydad Casablanca, and South African champions Mamelodi Sundowns, who get their tournament off and running on Tuesday and Wednesday. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
And before we end, here is a recap of tonight's headlines. During his appearance at the National Assembly, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, C.D. Keita, informed Parliament that the consolidated revenue performance exceeded expectations in the first quarter, registering a notable increase of 23% in domestic revenue collection. Now, as the Works Minister continues his tour of projects, residents of Raneru village in the Central River Region North have welcomed the progress of the long-awaited 26-kilometer road project, which now connects their community to the main Sierra Road corridor and other parts of the country. ActionAid International The Gambia held its 14th annual general meeting at the weekend to share updates on its programs and its financial report. Now, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in collaboration with UNICEF and other development partners, on Monday brought together students and teachers to mark the 2025 Day of the African Child. In sports news, the expanded FIFA Club World Cup kicked off at the weekend, with 4 African teams hoping to make their mark on the competition. This is all we have for you in this edition of the News Bulletin. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another News Bulletin. Thank you for watching.